Some occasions call for beautiful flowers, and one of the best ways to incorporate flowers is by adding them to a cake. In this video, I'll take you step by step through 2 methods for properly adding fresh flowers to a cake and explaining the do's and don'ts along the way. So let's get into it. The most important thing to know is that you never want to stick flower stems directly into a cake. You'll want to create a barrier between the stems and your cake, and this can be done in a couple of ways. But before we do, we first need to identify which flowers are going to be used. Fill a shallow glass with water and select which flowers will best work with the size of your cake and the colors on your cake. Including a green element other than stems and leaves is always a nice touch. Cut these flowers away from the bouquet at an angle and place them into a shallow glass of water. If you encounter clusters of flowers like this one, cut only the main stem. Remove the leaves from the stem. The fact that this cluster is taller will be important later. Our blossoms have been separated, so now we'll prepare them to be placed into the cake. The first method will require large tea straws. These are available in different colors, but bright ones stand out easier to whomever is cutting the cake. We'll also need plastic wrap and floral tape. All of these supplies can be found in the description. The first step is to gather a small grouping of flowers and wrap the bottom of the stems tightly in plastic wrap. This will help to seal in the moisture and keep the flowers from wilting. Next, we'll wrap the floral tape over the plastic wrap to secure the flowers. I find this easier to do when the flowers are positioned upside down. The floral tape must be gently pulled to activate the adhesive. We'll continue taping. Repeat this process as many times as necessary, and we'll come back to these in a moment. The second method is to use a food-safe barrier product like Safety Seal by Ingenious Edibles. In addition, you'll want to have a piece of parchment paper handy. This video is not sponsored, however, you can find a link to this and the other supplies in the description below. Safety Seal is solid and must be heated before using it. Follow the directions on the container. Once it's completely melted, it looks like this. We'll simply take a flower and dip the stem directly into the container like this, and then sit it on the parchment paper to set. This can be done with clusters of flowers too. For a thicker barrier, you can re-dip the stems after about 5 minutes. Now you can really see the barrier. Now to finish the other set of flowers, we'll place a wrapped cluster into a straw. You can see the wrapping through the straw. The next step is to position scissors about an inch below where we can see the wrapped stem and cut the straw at a diagonal. This leaves a nice pointed edge that will make it easier to insert the straw into the cake. Repeat these steps until complete. Now we can easily add flowers to the chilled cake. This cake has been in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes at this point. You'll want to do this right before delivering the cake. Avoid placing a cake with fresh flowers into a refrigerator for an extended period of time. Gases from other things being stored in the refrigerator could cause the flowers to wilt. Now here's a closer look at our stems covered with the safety seal. If your tea straws are too noticeable, you may use some frosting and an offset spatula to cover and smooth these areas. And here's our finished cake. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button below and subscribe for more cake decorating tips and tutorials. A special shout out to all of my channel members. And as always, thanks for watching.